Greetings! Hello! 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 I'm just going to turn the music off there. Welcome to the stream. You may notice that I'm joined. That there is another screen below this one. That there is somebody else here with me on stream. So today I'm joined by the absolutely fantastic Mark Gallie, who you might recognize as Ike. I say you might recognize. He hasn't said anything yet, but once he starts speaking, you might recognize his voice as the voice of Ike from the tower. Mike. Mike. I called you Mike. I don't know why I called you Mike. I said I called you Mark and Ike at the same time and called you Mike. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
Doing good, thanks. I'm very excited to be here. Very hype. Yeah, so like I don't look what I think people think Ike looks like, at least not in my head.
That's okay. That's fine. That's not something you should be like apologizing for, I don't think. Like I always think it's
No.
weird when voice actors are like, yeah, I'm sorry, I look nothing like the character. I look nothing like what my voice sounds like, I guess. But
Yeah. I mean, that's always the bit, especially for me. Like, I like being monsters and villains, so like, I just want to look like the characters I voice more than anything else. Oh, that'd be cool. Get to wear a cape.
was it dress for the job you want?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so for those that don't know, Mark is a writer, a poet, an actor, a videographer, producer, is just a general fantastic creative boffin. Makes many wonderful things, and is also very shy and modest when it comes to talking about the things that he does. Isn't that right?
It's just when you lay it all out, it's just like I do so many things. It's why it's more that people like, so like, what do you do like for a living? And I go, oh, this requires like a drink and a sit down to explain. There should be graphs involved.
Yeah, you can't just like say, oh, I'm in this. It's like no. Like there's a few different things.
I've taken to just going. I work in entertainment in a lot of ways.
That's
the easiest. You know, the overall the general term. But yeah, like I do stuff. I do stuff. That is also the short version way of doing it.
I get around. I do stuff. I keep busy. Fantastic. Well, if you
stuff. I like doing lots of things. It's exciting.
So if you want to check out all these amazing things that Mark does, if you feel tempted to ask Mark the question, what is it that you do? Rather than have to have that conversation, we've prepared a handy chat command, which is command we like Ike, and that will give you a wonderful little link to Mark's link tree to all the wonderful things that Mark does. So but yeah, so what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be also hello Alpha Gaming 662. Sorry, I thought I'd already said hello. Wonderful to see you, and good use of ghost gif of our ghost emojis. Good to have you here. Was hoping to unlock the big cow. You'll get there one day. So today, what we're going to be doing today is we are doing the read-through for our Anamnesis audio drama. We've spent the last few streams, the first couple of streams we were playing the game, where we played a game of Anamnesis and wrote a story, and then the last couple of streams we've been turning it into a script, and now we're on to the next phase, which is doing a read-through with our fantastic lead actor Mark Gallie, who's going to be being the voice of the voiceover, which is an odd sentence, I'll admit, and then also the voice of Anam as well. So basically, just being the main character, being the voice that you hear in this show. So the kind of purpose of today is not so much to nail down a performance as such. It's more just to test the series and see how it reads when a person is saying it out loud, and also we get to time it, and then also we can workshop any dialogue that doesn't work or any plot points that don't make any sense. Basically just bring some fresh eyes and some fresh perspective to the script. So thank you very much, Mark, for coming on stream. Thank you very much for agreeing to be a part of this.
Oh, I am delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And it's funny. We were just recently been doing the tower stuff together, and was approaching you to be like, hey, so like, once the tower's done, can we still do stuff together? To just be like, I just enjoyed it so much, and so it's like awesome to be here. I think as when you were messaging me about doing this, I think I might have agreed before I like read the rest of your message. Like, hey, are you free to? Yep, I'm in. What do we need to do? Like, and
Well, I mean,
then I
kind of,
actually,
well, because the initial thing I said was like there might be other voices, because initially I was going to do everything, but then I sort of figured that, hey, Mark Gallie should be in more things. So I will put Mark Gallie in more things, and then maybe people will notice, and then we'll also put Mark Gallie in things. So that's
notice me.
this seems to be what I do. I kind of go, oh, this person deserves more work and needs just more people need to know about this person, and then I make them a centerpiece in something.
Oh, I love you so much. I love you so much, Dave. You're the best. Yay.
Right.
Thank you for joining us for my group therapy session.
Oh, I'm the wrong person to be in that. But yeah, so yeah, have you had a chance to read over the script, or have you just had like a quick scan?
I've sort of done both.
Okay.
In a way, so I was reading over, because when you first sent me through stuff, you sent me through like the big long one. So I started reading a lot of that, and then realized that you told me where the script started. So I sort of got like quite far down the sort of broad strokes, and reading through it. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I've always like said, and I will say very publicly, I've always been a very big fan of your writing. I think it's like it's just very clever. It's very nuanced. Like there's things we've spoken about with the tower. I'm like, I really like what you did there because haha, wink wink. It's just very clever.
We
And then that could have been about the past.
we had to have a very specific conversation before the stream started, which was, okay, we need to remember that only 2 episodes of part 3 have come out so far. There's still a lot that hasn't been released yet. We need to just sit on so much. So we had to figure that out.
But yeah, no, I really love it, and I love it's such an interesting like writing prompt style. Prompt seems like the right word, I suppose, here.
Yeah.
But just such a cool way to explore things, and yeah, I'm excited to see like how it comes out. I guess, and the same for me, because even though I read it in my own voice, I guess I'm excited to hear what it sounds like in my voice or in our voice, I suppose.
Yeah. You see, this is kind of, this is the thing, because I can sort of hear the dialogue in your voice, and I think once I kind of made that decision, I was very much like, oh, okay, like this I think this will absolutely work. But it means, because I've kind of been adapting from a short story, I haven't properly like Mark Gallied it, I guess. Like I haven't quite fully adapted it for your particular tone, but like I think that's something we can work on today, and something we can figure out.
For my strange vocal nonsense.
It's not even that, but it's just like, because this was very much, it was written as prose and then it was adapted into script, and it hasn't been tested with a voice yet, so I think it was just making sure that it does work. But yeah.
Oh no, it's always smart to prepare for my weird hiccups.
You're a very good voice actor. You come in, and because the thing is, you're a performance poet as well. So you've just got this natural kind of rhythm and pacing to when you do voice acting. So do not put yourself down. Not you come into my house. And you
not come. Oh no, your house, your rules. I understand. You got it. Okay.
Yeah, well, we should have a very quick conversation about kind of tone, before we kind of get into it. So, in my head when I'm reading this, I think the tone that it's reading like for me is Silent Hill 2, is James Sunderland's character in Silent Hill 2, that kind of slightly dreamlike quality to it.
There's that little bit too accepting over something that is very strange.
Yes, that's that. I feel like that's just generally my tone of writing.
No, I think it's that, I think you need a little bit of that, because otherwise you're like, because it's that, it not gets rid of that argument. You're like, any sane person would just leave Silent Hill 2 right at the start. You're just like, you'd show up and go, absolutely not. And like, no game, sure, but like, they would, the one, you have to take not common sense out of it, but yeah, I like that's kind of like, because it takes on like, you wake up in a room, and I think my first reaction, or many people's first reactions, would be like deep-seated panic and terror, and like, you need to get over that for the story. Like,
yeah, and it very much. I said this on the streams, but it very much felt like writing a text adventure game, just because it's like, right, I'm in a room. What is in the room? Where am I? What's over there? Like, the kind of the main character's mind is just like a tech command line. That's just especially since it was with prompts as well. It was like, do this now. Okay, now do this. So hopefully it doesn't read like that. But I think if that would sort of help with the sort of performance of it, I guess we can go for it. So do you have any? We sort of talked a little bit before the stream, but do you have any questions before we kind of jump into it?
Well, I suppose that reference does give me quite lots to sort of go on, because that was, I suppose, my first questions of at least things going into it was kind of like, what's the, of the vibe of the thing at the start? Because I'm whether you're going for that, you wake up in a room, and you are remembering all the stuff that came before it. Obviously, that doesn't really that's not so much part of the story. You go, I'm in a room. I need to get out of the room. That's kind of like your first thing. So I think that kind of like, that idea of like that slightly too accepting of the circumstance, but understanding that they need to press on, even though pressing on is is not quite as obvious. Does that make sense?
I get you. I think when we go to record it, I think we will be able to figure out a difference with the voiceover and like the character in the scene. I think there can be a bit of a difference there. In particular, so I think kind of the main sort of set piece for the series, it's in page 7, so it's episode 3. It's when the character is reading the notes.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what, I'll highlight the line, so you should be able to see that.
Forest with trees, literally staring. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so the way...
Yeah, this was the other thing, is like the difference between like Anam and the voiceover, because for me, like, Anam feels like some, like, I don't know, to keep using the video game references, like those little bits that pop up that are the questions that are really like being asked, that kind of like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah,
like you'd hear stuff from like outside the dream.
Yeah, well, I think you can with the VO be a bit more having a sort of a little bit more narrator voice rather than character. As much as I think, because I think that's maybe an interesting way to play it, because I feel like the VO and Anam, as it's written in the script, I think they kind of start off in different places, and then by the end they kind of merge together. So if that's a potential way you want to play it, that's another avenue we can go with it. But specifically with these bits where it says doubled over with additional recording, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to record it twice, but in 2 very different ways. So
cool.
So right. I'm going to have you recording it once as the character reading it in this space as part of the story, and then record you again as the person writing the notes, if that makes sense.
Cool.
So for
it makes sense.
So for kind of this one, record it first of all kind of slightly dispassionately as you're reading it in the story, but then record again in a very sort of more frantic, angry kind of voice, and then double them over as the kind of...
I love when you get to do your audio voodoo. That's excellent.
I mean, again, hopefully it works, but like that's kind of what I want to try, and I think it will just make this passage a lot more interesting when it comes to the kind of building these memories together. So that was the kind of only real thing where I'm like, this is the only tricky bit that I think I need to explain before we go into it. But that's much more of a recording thing than a read through thing.
That's cool. But yeah, do you take it episode by episode, is it?
Yes, we're gonna do it episode by episode. Yeah, we'll kind of run it that way. So because also as well, I'll time each episode as well.
Ooh, smart.
Just because I need to figure out a way to, because I'll be releasing this on Bandcamp, but I need to figure out a way to release this as a podcast as well. Because it might just be the case of we release it as one, just start to finish one big thing, or as one kind of audio file, or we release it in bits, but it depends on how long each one is. But yeah, okay, let's go. Let's. Are you all kind of? Have you got drinks? Have you all hydrated and?
I do. I've got my big old tankard of hot tea.
I did say like it's sort of giving my mug an inferiority complex.
Oh, it's also nerdy as well because it's D&D related.
Oh, wonderful!
Show that nerddom.
Yeah. Okay, let's get going then. Okay, so I explained this kind of before the stream, but I'll kind of say again. So these are going to be the creator of Anamnesis. It's going to be Sam Lee doing these lines. But I'll read them out for the purposes of this, and then I'll also do the room ambience and stuff as well. So, okay, so this is...
You're going to do all the sounds... Just on your own.
I'm just gonna make them. I'm like I like to pretend that I can do sound design, but it's actually just me making lots of noises. I don't use pre-recorded sound effects. It's a lie.
Live foleying.
Yeah, no, that's a very different beast. I think maybe one day on stream, but not today. Okay. So this is Anamnesis, episode 1, Pentacles. You wake up in an unfamiliar place, seemingly within a town or city. You cannot remember who you are or why you are here. All you know for certain is that you are not in your home. Sound, internal room ambience, wind and rain hitting a window. When you are ready, take a deep breath and wake up. Sound, a person waking up suddenly, sitting up, breathing.
The room smells faintly of burning wood. There is nothing in the room with me other than the door and the window. Plain, cream-colored paint on the walls has been burnt in places, as has the floor.
Sound, wooden floor creaking.
I'm sitting in the middle of some strange pattern, just drawn in chalk on the floor of this empty apartment room. Excuse me. They look like small circles with pentagrams drawn on the inside. I count 7 of them. Where am I? What happened here? My head. I don't remember. Oh, sorry, I skipped that.
That's all right.
The more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers becomes noticeable. I don't remember anything.
Sound, wooden floor creaking, standing up. Heavy robes, footsteps, window sounds get louder.
The rain is too heavy to see outside. I stare anyway, watching for answers, clues, anything. I try to remember something concrete, something I can grasp onto, something to begin with. The rain on the window offers me no answers.
Sound, pieces of echoes. So these are going to be lots of different voices saying the word anamnesis, just kind of swirling and gradually getting louder.
From somewhere within me, A word starts to form, like an afterimage of a sound. My mouth starts to move, trying to figure out its shape. Anamnesis.
Sound. Something moving, coming up through the floor. 2 heavy footsteps. Again, this is going to be Sam Lee, and they sent me their lines today, and oh, it sounds real good. It's fantastic. So, you made it. I wasn't entirely sure you would do it. You asked for a lot with this, and you didn't do everything right. I hope it was worth it to get here. I'm sorry I won't be able to see how you handle it. I would very much like to see what happens next. You're on your own now. I hope you find what you were looking for, and that it was worth everything you've lost. Sound. A deep sigh, and slow, heavy footsteps walking away from me. From me? Oh no! What is this? Shit. Fuck. Shit.
Bye.
A door opens and closes. Rain on the window. A step back. Rustling clothes.
The clothes I'm wearing tug at me. They are too big for my frame and look completely alien to me. It appears to be a robe of some sort, with a fabric that feels unfamiliar to my skin. It hangs off me, like hand-me-downs from an elder sibling. The sleeves swallow my hands and arms. The shoulder pads pull my shoulders away from my neck. As I shrug off the robe, I realize... as I shrug off the robe, I recognize more familiar clothes underneath. A pair of black jeans, green shirt, and a leather jacket that has been well worn. On the back of the robes, I find 2 of the circles with star patterns inside. Was this protection somehow? Did I put the robe on? What happened here? The room offers no answers, no clues. I look out the window and realize what I have to do. Glad I remembered to bring a coat.
Sound. Footsteps. Door opening and closing. We stay in the room for a moment. Wonderful. Okay, that clocked in just over 5 minutes. That's pretty good. That's kind of perfect.
That's all right. This is pretty quick. So there was a few stumbles over some words there.
That's okay. It's your first time reading. So how did that feel? How was that for you?
Yeah, I felt all right. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm hitting James Sunderland properly. Felt like I was going very croaky.
I think that's maybe something I think because when we come to record, we'll record the voiceover and the Anam stuff separately. Just so it means you're kind of, rather than jumping from one character to another or one voice to another, you're kind of getting it in. You're kind of just doing one character then doing the other, kind of like what we did with Katrina for the tower for monologues and not monologue stuff. It's just do it separately.
Love to do it. It takes so much practice to do like the Justin Roiland when he just sits and does like the conversations between Rick and Morty just on the same mic. Just the whole thing.
That's just that's very, very good, but also like that's very hard to do. And I think for
talented.
Well, for this, I think it works better as well because we're kind of it's not so much that you're doing 2 different characters, you're doing 2 variations on the same voice. So it's a slightly different kind of beast. But yeah, so
this is why I love working with you. How did that sound for you? Yeah, I mean,
no, that sounded good. Like I'm kind of mostly figuring on line notes rather than kind of performance stuff at the moment, just because we're going for a kind of a read through. But like, I guess the thing
there was one. Oh, sorry.
No. So no, you go.
It was just for me. I think it's just when I was reading it through as well. I think this sentence. I don't know if that's highlighted.
Oh yes, I'm sitting in the middle of some strange patterns. Yeah.
I mean, strange drawn in chalk on the floor of this empty apartment room. I just wasn't sure if there was a way to maybe like just to break it up slightly, just because it feels quite long to put some stresses on places.
Yeah. Hang on. Well, let's hold on. There's nothing in the room. Okay, here we go. I'm sitting in a room. Comma. There we go. That's a better way to do it. I'm sitting in an empty apartment. In the middle of some strange patterns drawn in chalk on the floor. Okay, yeah, that I think that reads better. You want to give me a read of that just to see?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm sitting in an empty apartment room in the middle of some strange patterns drawn in chalk on the floor. They look like small circles with pentagrams drawn on the inside. I count 7 of them. Yeah, that feels a bit nicer as a flow for me. Yeah.
Cool. Good. The other one, the only line I kind of wrote down was the more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers becomes noticeable. Is that clunky? Does that feel clunky to say?
The more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers becomes noticeable. No, I think that's probably just me putting stresses in weird places.
I mean, I might I think the word noticeable is the bit I have the problem with.
Okay.
Mysterious, hello, glad you could join us. We're just doing some notes. Because I think apparent is kind of the word.
Yeah, I mean that is a nice assonance with the answers as well. The more questions I ask, the more the lack of answers becomes apparent. Yeah, that's got really nice like.
Yeah. See, this is why you should hire poets to be your voice actors, because they're very good at giving you script notes and making them sound good.
Apparent. That's got some really nice sound quality to it.
See,
lots of nice lots of nice sounds.
And if there's one thing we like here, it's nice sounds.
Nice sounds. Right?
Good, cool.
That was I suppose with the don't remember anything. Is that more of a matter of fact, like I don't remember anything, or more of a the scared kind of like don't remember anything, kind of like more concerned?
I think that's your character realizing, I think that's you kind of the surprise, I guess. Yeah, it's
that kind of like that moment when we were like, I know my name is. Oh, I don't remember anything.
Yes, exactly. That kind of no. I think it's
okay.
It's as much as the character's saying it out loud, it is very much. It's kind of like you're sort of talking to the invisible player to a certain.
No, I take that.
Amazing, but yeah, I didn't have any kind of notes there. I think it's that strange thing because it's the first time. Sorry, I need to put this on 1.2 now, don't I? I think because it's the first time you're reading the script. Obviously, it's something that you're still kind of finding the character. So I don't really have any performance notes. I kind of really like the way you sort of did Anamnesis. You kind of said it like the character was sort of figuring out the word as they were saying it, but not too much. I thought you had a nice like kind of balance there.
Sweet.
So I think that was very, very good. And yeah, so I think it worked really, really well. There was something very Silent Hill about the way you deliver that line. It was kind of sort of joking, but not quite joking, and surprisingly earnest, which I really liked.
It's because I'm a big horror fan of the thing as well. But that is one thing I love about horror games, like the little wins they find. Like, oh, everything's bad, everything's scary, but I've got a hood on my coat for the rain. You're just like, oh, bless. Like, take the wins where you can, right? Like...
Yeah. I think the only other thing I had written down was the clothes. I think the clothes are kind of uninteresting, but I kind of have to.
I wonder if you could even change it, like just for shorten it into that thing, because I quite like the the bit for that. I obviously didn't see the writing element of it or whether that's flavor text, but I like that, like black jeans, a green shirt, and a well-worn leather jacket. Maybe
Yes.
then rather than and a leather jacket, just for that again that little bit of and a well-worn leather jacket on
Yeah.
the back of the, so like that, and I can play that much like more matter of factly.
Yeah.
I get that like thing because I realized I think I was putting some emotion into VO where it's mostly supposed to be an amp. I think I like swapped perspectives in my
No, it was
yeah.
it was fine. It was more just I think it's more just like it's very nondescript clothing, you know. But I feel like it kind of has to be there to demonstrate that this is a contemporary setting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's fine.
I think that
I think it
that
works.
description, I would like it's for me. I was like, because I read that it was like a pair of black jeans, a green shirt, and a well-worn leather jacket. I was like, yep, that is a good aesthetic to have as well. Like it's you know, I was just like that is a good solid aesthetic across the board. You know, like.
Yeah,
It's because I like as well the bit because the contrast a bit with like the wizard's robe. It's like it's this big like that big robe. You're like, this ain't feeling right. There we go. That's the stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think it sets a sort of character. It gives a nice visual as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think also I think it's just I've got a chip on my shoulder because I don't like it when audio dramas describe what characters are wearing, and it's entirely like it's not like a thing being like, oh, I think this is something that is bad or anything like that. It's something that like it shouldn't bug. This is not a thing that should bug me. It should not annoy me in the slightest. But I'm very much one of these people that's just like characters should not describe what they look like in audio drama. It should be up to the listener. The listener should be able to decide what the characters look like. But at the same time, for this, because the prompt was, "What clothes is your character wearing?" So I'm kind of been written into this. So I think that's why I'm overthinking this.
You've got
so
like
much.
yeah. I suppose yeah I can understand that because like especially for audio like dramas, but it's like how do you can't just like what's the soundbite that would describe a pair of black jeans, a green shirt, and a well-worn leather jacket? You can't get it in sound design.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to say what's happening.
I must admit, you can't say everything with sound design. I have to begrudgingly admit that. Don't clip that. Don't send it to the newspapers. It's
you know, like what does green sound like?
I mean, we could talk a long time about.
We could. I won't distract. In my opinion, I'd say keep the descriptives. But obviously,
Okay.
this is
No, we're absolutely
and many other
keeping it.
people out there.
There's a newsletter. I think it's a newsletter. It's kind of like a website. I can't remember what it's called, but basically what it is that every 2 weeks they will send you a prompt, and you have to make like an audio piece for that prompt, and it is stuff like, what does this color sound like? And I think it's like I think it's called Radio Playground. I can't remember, but like it's not for anything in particular. It's very much just here is here is just some way of practicing your sort of abstract sound design in a way that's that people aren't waiting on, people aren't expecting anything. It is just for you to do in your own time, which I think is
So
cool
yeah,
thing.
it's a fun way to practice your craft. I don't think there's anything like wrong. Yeah,
No, not at all.
Saying, you're like, it's not necessarily for anything. I like a weird way to practice stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of
I suppose it's like with the idea of getting prompts and like this. I suppose it's different ways of creating the thing.
Mysterious says, "What does green sound like? Only the people with synesthesia know." Yeah. I'm very like somebody did a synesthesia painting of I think it was Middle Below. It might have been the Tower. I can't remember, but I feel like it was Middle Below. And it's just a really cool thing. Like it's just something that I don't. It's something that I don't quite understand how it works, but it's a wonderful thing to see audio represented in such a way, I can't remember what show it was. I think it was Middle Below because specifically I remember thinking, "Oh, that's really cool. I'd be interested to see what a synesthesia painting for the Tower looked like." I'd really hope it would be like purple. But anyway, I'll see if I can dig that up and try and scrape through my Twitter archive before it disappears.
Oh.
But yeah. Okay, shall we move on to episode 2?
Yeah. Swords.
Well, this is actually something you might be able to help me with. What I'm trying to do with each.
Shouldn't be that excited about swords today.
There's nothing wrong with being excited about swords. I'm kind of trying to work the suite for each one into the writing somewhere, and I think there's a couple where I don't quite have that yet. So the fresco in front of the temple is the card that was drawn for that prompt, which is the 8 of Swords. So it's just these little hints at, like, I like this idea that the game is kind of also part of the narrative in a weird way, and the tarot cards are also part of the narrative in a very specific way.
I love that interview of that. It's one of my favorite. I forget what the title is, but there's like a pre-made like Dungeons and Dragons like dungeon that you can make, but if you go through it, it includes every monster in the monster manual.
Oh wow!
From sort of like start to finish, whether that's they're actively fighting or whether it's like a statue of one of them out front and stuff like that. But that was obviously the task. You have one dungeon, and you need to fit all the monsters in it somehow.
That's really cool.
I love when the setting and the art weave.
Yeah, cool. No, I really like they talk in this about like a book, and I like the idea of it being the Anamnesis book, like the print, like the kind of printed version that I have. As much as like it's described as a heavy book, and the Anamnesis, it's a pamphlet. It's not heavy, but I just like that idea.
Show you some heavy books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get going. So this, am I okay to start the timer and get going?
Right. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Ready when you are.
Okay. So this is episode 2, Swords. After getting your bearings, you walk around town. You know this town. You know it well, but you cannot remember it. Sound. Steps in a stairwell.
Oh, that was brilliant. It's got that little creak there.
So that was my chair. It was the chair. It wasn't me. I want to make that very clear.
I was just like, excellent sound design. You are lively.
It's just me at the microphone making a creaking sound.
I walk down a flight of stairs and out into the rain.
Sound. Front
Doesn't
door
seem as
outside.
heavy now. Oh, sorry. It doesn't seem as heavy now. The streets feel familiar. It stirs something in my memory. A loose remembrance of the pavement stones. As if my feet know where to go. I let muscle memory carry me.
Sound. Footsteps. Footsteps stop.
I find myself outside of a temple. I stop for a moment and take shelter under its awning. Above the entrance is an old, withered fresco of 8 swords, overlapping each other in a complex shape that looks almost cage-like. In the center of the swords is what looks to be the face of a woman wearing a blindfold.
Sound. Footsteps on stone steps.
This place feels familiar. I feel like I have walked up these steps many times before. There is a feeling in my stomach as I stand under the awning looking at the temple. It stirs something that almost feels like resentment and bitterness.
Sound. Various voices,
excellent.
Whispers, brackets, distant, and that's going to be made up of our wonderful Ko-fi members and members of the Tin Can Audio Discords. So that's what we're hearing when that happens.
Cool. There is also a second feeling underneath that makes me want to not be here, to be as far away from this temple as possible. Is it shame?
Sound. Walking away. The voices fade. More walking.
More. I walk into a square, into what was once a market. There are still lines of wooden stalls set up. Some of them even appear to still have their wares on them, shielded from the rain by their awnings.
Sound, footsteps, walking over to a stall. Stall ambience fades up. Hopefully I'll know what that means later on. Various voices, whispers, distant, reading excerpts from the game book. I'm also going to get you to read a few as well, just so we've kind of got that in the mix there as well.
Okay. Okay. So. Hello? Who's there? What's going on? Is that me talking? Who am I talking to? Something happened here. I turn back and see the temple, almost watching over me, and know that the two places and the echoes of feeling drawn from them are connected somehow. I turn back to the stall, gazing over the soggy books to see if there is anything that could give me an insight into what happened here, what I found here, and what did I do? I feel the temple's gaze on my back, and I turn away from the stall.
Sound. Footsteps. Stall ambience fades. More walking.
I wander around town, walking down streets that feel familiar but also deeply wrong somehow, like something is missing. I see no lights in the grey buildings. I see no one walking pavements around me. There is no sound other than the rain and the wind, and my footsteps on the road. I am alone. I am cold. I feel like I am looking for something amongst all of this nothingness, and there is a distant feeling of anxiety at the back of my mind. Am I looking for home? There is no sense of belonging anywhere I go. Not at the market, not at the temple, not at the room I woke up in. Where am I? Where is everybody? How did I get here? How do I get back when I can't even remember where I came from? I think about the temple and the market. I know they are linked somehow. I remember walking these streets carrying books, heavy books. I remember walking quickly with them. I remember the room I woke up in. I remember reading the books and rereading them. Something didn't make sense, but I wanted to understand. I desperately wanted to understand.
Sound. Various voices, whispers, distant.
Feel like something is being hidden from me.
Sound. Footsteps stop. A pause.
This was my home. This is my house.
Fantastic. So that clocked in. Dun. So that clocked in just about almost just under 6 minutes. So that's perfect as well.
Okay.
That was really good. How did that feel?
That one felt a little bit better for me than the first one. I'm not sure. Am I going too narratory with the VO bit now?
A little bit, yeah. That was a kind of note I had. I think for the especially for this kind of I wander around town bit, and when it's kind of like I feel like I'm looking for something, and there's a distant feeling. It's kind of like you're trying to figure out what's going on while you're talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'd say
I knew I was doing it a bit more narratory as I was doing it. I was like, this might have gone too far the other direction. So
yeah, I feel like sort of stuff when it's these kind of like these are monologues rather than narration, you know.
Got you. Yeah. That's my beat.
Because like there's, I think describing the actions, yes, that's very much narrator voice, but I think for these sort of bits you can go more monologue, because that's ultimately where you're going to be going. You know, ultimately you're going to be going to doing these monologues, especially in the next few episodes. Mysterious says dramatic crash zoom at the end of that episode.
Oh no.
And yeah, I think you can also do that with the excuse me, the hello, who's there, what's going on. I think you can also be a bit more freaked out there as well. Because you're
Okay,
starting to hear
cool.
voices,
Yeah,
but you can't
do
see
that.
where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's very fair. That should have been way more. I
It's
get
okay.
that, but
Like I get it.
everything's fine.
It's
Like,
a first read through. Like um yeah. I think with in this episode in particular, I think you can the voiceover can afford to be a bit more monologue-y because it is a very monologue-y based script. So feel free to kind of play that up if it feels natural for you.
okay.
Yeah, were there any bits that didn't click or you didn't quite think worked or had any questions about it?
No, I was thinking mostly of my delivery as I was doing them. I'm trying to think if there were any sentences that I was having a quick scroll. Mm, I think so, to be honest. It is pronounced awning is my only thing, right?
Yeah, no, that's correct. I was very proud of that word where I
Yeah,
was just
I
like
got to there. I was.
I was talking about this
Sorry.
when I was writing, but like I don't know enough. Like I'm terrible at writing architecture just because I don't know what the words are. So I had to look up what an awning was. I had to look up what a fresco was. I was just like I don't know what these words mean. I don't know architecture. I'm like,
Yeah, I was just it's one of those bits where you're going along and you go, oh, I'm pretty sure that's how you say the words, but now is not the time. I should have checked that before.
yeah. Well, it's also more just like yeah. So I'm under a thing. The thing. It's a thing that it's like it hangs over a door. It's a thing. And like, I think that the chat had to tell me what fresco was because I couldn't think of the word. And I was just like, like the thing. It's above the door. It's above the door of like the churches and temples. Like a thing. It's like made up of different, statues and like scenes and things. It's a thing. Like, it's a fresco. Okay. Right. Okay.
The first time I read fresco, I was like, is that not like a type of like yogurt or like ice cream or something like that, or like one of those like small drinks? Like, was that or is that fresca? Is that what I'm?
I think that's a fresca. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. It's the bit where I go, I didn't. I was like, from the context, I went, well, it won't be that, so I don't know what that word means. So yeah, like.
Oh, maybe fresco. Maybe I'm using the word wrong. Hang on, fresco.
Oh God, no.
Fresca is a grapefruit flavored citrus soft drink. Yeah, okay. We are using the right.
Okay, so you are using the right one. I figured. I didn't think it was that. It would have been an intro. Like I was like, what card did you pull to get that?
We are both writers. We should know what words mean.
There's so many words.
There's too many of them.
Words. Oh. Did you have anything else for me other than
no, not really.
stuff we said?
Like I think it's I'm very aware I'm not really giving a lot of performance notes, but that's because I'm sort of hearing it for the first time as well to a certain extent.
No, it's cool. I'm also happy to let you ruminate, but if there's anything I'm doing, you're like definitely not that. Then yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think we push on and head into episode 3. Excuse me. Oh dear, I feel my camera has. Oh no, my camera's working fine. It sort of stopped for a second. My computer's just having to work a little bit harder today. Okay, so.
Sorry.
No, it's just because I'm on a call as well. While also, so I'm having to it's having stuff coming in. It's having to process stuff coming in, but it's also having to process stuff going out. Okay, so episode 3. Any fun things I need to be aware of? There's a lot of reading in this one.
A lot of reading. Oh, this just had the bit that you were talking about.
Yeah, we'll be recording these twice with But that's something for recording rather than anything else. Okay. I very much think this is going to be like the centerpiece of the series. just because it's kind of got the big set piece in the middle, with the notes in the room with all the photographs in it and stuff. I feel like that's kind of the main sound set piece. Because I was very worried when I was writing this that there wasn't really going to be any sort of interesting sound design bits, but it seems to have presented itself in an interesting way. So it means we are getting to do the fun experimental sound design stuff that we know and love here.
Yeah, I'm sure you would find a way. You would have managed to find a way. And you did.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to add it. Actually, and that's the thing I need to do. I need to add an extra bit at the beginning because I completely forgot this bit of the prompt about the facade being unfamiliar.
Oh.
So I need to quickly add that. I stand outside my house. I know it is my house. But it somehow seems unfamiliar and strange. Word of the season is strange. It seems to have been abandoned for some time. I think that's all I need to say. Yeah, okay. So let's jump into it. Let's just go for it, and then we can figure out any extra stuff on the way. So this is episode 3, Cups. You manage to find your home. The facade is unfamiliar. You fish the key out of your pocket and open the door. Sound, rain, wind.
I stand outside my house. I know it is my house, but it somehow seems unfamiliar and strange. It seems to have been abandoned for some time. It is a while before I summon the courage to go inside. I instinctively reach into my pocket as I approach the front door and find a set of keys.
Sound, keys, unlocking the front door, opening a stiff door, footsteps, creaky floorboards.
The house is dark and abandoned. How long has it been since I was last here? The last time I was at home. There is a pair of shoes in the hallway. They are not my size. Is there someone else here? Something in me leaps in at the thought. Is it something in me leaps?
Something in me leaps at the thought. Yeah, I can't write.
Oh no, it's me doing it like having to do that. It's like it's like I have the script. The writers work very hard, do it word for word, and then I get there. And I'm like, is that? Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'll go back to the start. I'll do that one. The house is dark. How long has it been since I was last here? The last time I was at home. There is a pair of shoes in the hallway. They are not my size. Is there someone else here? Something in me leaps at the thought and urges me on to explore the house. My house. It feels strange to say that it is my house, but I know that it is. Our house.
Sound, door opening, footsteps on wooden floor.
I move into what looks like it was once a study. There is a desk by the window and a bulbless lamp, 2 empty cups, and the remains of a notebook with pages torn out.
Sorry, I've paused the timer. Mysterious has just said in chat, my house? In the middle of the street? Welcome to the house of fun.
Amazing.
Okay. It's just said got him.
Damn it! Damn it! Well played. Well
just
played.
noticed. I think just because of the way the cameras are, the chat box is hidden. I'm just gonna stick that over everything. But the fact that we're commenting on the chat, I think is okay.
Where was this? I'll go back to the
okay.
I move into what looks like it was once a study. There is a desk by the windows with a bulbless lamp, 2 empty cups, and the remains of a notebook with pages torn out.
Sound. Footsteps.
The far wall is covered in photographs from floor to ceiling, overlapping, covering every inch of wall space. I approach the wall, hoping for some sort of clue, some revelation about what's happened. Most of the photos are of 2 people, in different places and different times. I recognize the temple in a few of them. I see the market in another, only both places are full of people, full of life. I think one of the people in all the photographs is me, though I can't be sure. It looks like they are wearing the same robe I woke up wearing. I try to get a closer look at the people in the photographs and try to see their faces, but for some reason the faces are all blurred. Not scratched out, but faded like a mist. I feel like I can almost pick out details in the corner of my eye, but they disappear when I try and focus on them.
Sound. Sitting down, touching photographs. I'm not laughing at that. I've already laughed at that. So somebody said, mysteriously said, "Look at this photograph."
As soon as I saw a photograph, I was like, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've got my shields up now. Because I was very tempted to be like, I sit down in front of the wall of photographs. Like,
there's a wonderful remix on SoundCloud of Photograph by Nickelback, where they've replaced every line with "every time I do it makes me laugh," and it's called Nickel Lolback. It's
oh, bravo,
I'm not sure I could get away with
bravo.
playing it on stream. I probably could, but I'm not gonna. You can look it up in your own time.
We'll wait. No.
Look at this graph.
No, good. Look at this. Oh, yes. But I'm going to sit down. We're just memeing now.
Just talking about ancient memes. Okay, where were we?
Right.
You were sitting down in front of the wall of photographs that every time you do, they make you laugh.
Yeah. They do.
This is going to make recording so much harder. This was a bad idea doing this in front of people.
That line is now. I'm not going to be able to not smile on this line now. Damn it. I sit down. I sit down.
Okay, we've got half of it there. Okay. I've paused the timer for the time until we get this.
Okay. Sorry. Right. I'm ready.
Okay, go.
I sit down in front of the wall of photographs. This was my home. This was my study. Does this have something to do with why I'm here? Who is the other person in the photographs? Did they live here too? Where did they go? And why are they all over this wall?
Sound. Collecting paper. Sliding across the floor. That's the paper sliding across the floor. It's not the character just sort of moving around on the... Yeah, sorry, that's not clear.
I look around me and I notice that there are notebook pages scattered across the floor. I reach out and start to collect them in front of me.
Sound. Turning page.
First page I look at has a drawing on it, and I recognize it as the design that was on the floor in the room I woke up in. There is also the word Anamnesis written underneath, underlined twice with a question mark. The page is not dated, and I realize that none of the pages are dated or numbered. The next page seems more frantic, with a scrawl that reads, You want me to do this two ways at the start? So do you want
I
me to just do
think
it like straight
just
read
for now,
this time?
just do it as Anam reading.
And I'm just reading. Okay.
Yeah.
They won't they won't let me through. I know what I'm doing. With more drawings of circles containing pentagrams underneath. The last the next page is in the next page is in the same messy handwriting with I must remember written over and over again, covering the entire page.
Sound. Turning page.
Another page seems to be passages copied from a book. The recollection of innate knowledge from a previous existence. With an asterisk that has, "How do I get back there?" scribbled next to it and circled. Underneath the passage is the question, is that where they've gone?
Sound. Turning page.
The next page only has one sentence at the top, as if the author meant to write more, but stopped. How dare the temple take ownership of their work after trying to stop B in the first place? How dare they feel entitled to their work?
So,
Final page I find seems to be a journal entry. The merchant at the market sold me the book. I had to pay more. I had to pay much more for it. The elders at the temple believe they own the only copy. Wherever B has gone, I know I can find them with this. I don't know as much as they do about all this, but I have to try and find them. All of B's notes were confiscated by the temple, and they won't tell me anything. I have to do this on my own. I will find you, B. I have. I sit, reading the last page over and over again. If these are my notes, I was trying to find someone, or was I trying to follow them? I stay in the room, sitting on the floor, looking at the photographs and reading the notes, trying to remember.
sound. Rain and wind on window.
Found out about another world, a world parallel to our own. Something went wrong and everyone was scared. I lost someone, and I realized I had to get them back. And the only way to do that was to try and find this other world.
So, you made it. I wasn't entirely sure you would do it. You asked for a lot with this, and you didn't do everything right. I hope it was worth it to get here.
I get it wrong? Am I in the wrong place? All this work for an empty world with distant no. All this work for an empty world with distant, forgotten memories?
Sound. Wind blowing the front door open. Paper blowing. Getting up. Closing the front door. A sigh.
What's this?
Kneeling. Picking up a photo.
There's a photograph lying on the floor that I didn't see when I came in. It's another picture of the same couple that covers the wall in the study in front of. It's another picture of the same couple that covers the wall in the study in front of the house. I can't make out the faces. I turn it over and see that there is something written on the back. Find me.
Fantastic. Fantastic work. Hello, give me a duck username. Welcome to the stream. Looks like I missed a lot, but excited to catch the rest. You're pretty much here at the halfway mark, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, that was really good. That was really good, Mark. How did that feel?
There's obviously a lot of like switching back and forward, so like hopefully that obviously like we say we'll record them slightly differently just to get a bit more.
Well, I have
definition between the two.
I have kind of a note for that. I think when you start reading the notebook pages, you can kind of start blending the VO and Anam together. That's kind of the point where they start merging.
Okay.
Cause,
yeah. Okay. I did like because I like the way that like it gets written quite nice for that flow.
Yeah. I think we can try it both ways. I think we can see what kind of works for us. Yeah, and I think what was the and then sort of at the end when you're kind of reading the last one, the merchant at the market sold me the book.
Yeah.
And then everything from there you're kind of remembering in real time. So you're kind of remembering as you're talking.
Okay, yeah.
So you're sort of remembering by speaking the words out loud. Yeah, generally I would just kind of, I mean, the thing I always say when we do recordings, which is just slow it down a little bit and just really let each line breathe a little bit. But I feel like you always kind of talk a little bit faster in a read through anyway.
Essentially, I do need to keep remembering that. It's a note I have for all of my things. I need to just take a breath, just take a second.
I mean, we're not recording tonight, so it's fine.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, I really like. Oh yes, that was a thing I wanted to say. That was very good. The way you said, "What's this?" You made that line work. It's such an obvious video game line, but you made it work. You actually made it sound normal and natural, like a thing an actual person would say in real life. So that's well done.
Thanks. What's this?
Yeah, that's you see that for me that feels like a very Silent Hill line. It's like, what's this? Press X to pick up later. Yeah, exactly. Like it's that level of video game voiceover stuff, because it does, like I've said a few times, it does feel a bit like text adventure-y at times. Yeah. So I have a bit of lore to talk to you about with this bit. That you can either work it into. It's not a spoiler because the whole script is here. It's not necessarily something. It's if you want to incorporate into your performance, you can. You don't necessarily have to, but it's just something I think that it's interesting to consider when it comes to the story, right? So I had the idea while I was writing this that potentially your character is B. So what you're doing is you're finding all these notebooks, and I think it's an interesting idea to consider that maybe you're not the latest person to do this. Maybe there is somebody that has come after you, and this is you finding evidence of them, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, that's very cool. Oh.
I don't know how you would work that into a performance, but I like the idea of it being a potential interpretation.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you for telling me. It's good to know. Good. I'll have a percolate, because I like.
Because something I am considering is potentially asking somebody else to also add an additional recording of the notes as well. Just to potentially let that idea breathe a little bit more. But yeah, that's a thing I am considering, and it might be something that we might work into recording a bit more. But that's just something to potentially influence the performance when we go to record.
Okay, cool, sweet. Yeah.
It's strangely liberating to talk about these ideas in front of people like straight away, and it's something that like it means that later on when we're talking about stuff, or we're if we ever get interviewed about this, like we don't have to be coy about what things mean. It's like, well, we talked about it on the stream. It's quite liberating.
No secrets. Right?
Exactly. It's the opposite of the tower.
Very. Oh yeah. couldn't be more opposite ends.
The noise you made there was incredible.
Oh, it was very real. It was a very real feeling.
Marvelous. Well, that episode also came in at 10 minutes as well, which is fantastic. So it was almost.
I was going to ask that one. I was like, that one felt a little bit longer as well.
Yeah, so it was almost like a proper audio drama episode. That's good. I mean, it seems like we're going to be releasing these as single episodes in the podcast feed, which makes me happy. I feel like that would kind of the ideal way of releasing it. Yeah, I still need to work out what I'm going to do with the music with this, but I'm excited to see. Because as much as I do kind of want to go down the Silent Hill sort of that kind of ambient trip hop route, I think there's also the I don't want to do I don't want to make it entirely Silent Hill based. I like the idea of
No, but that concept is still like, like one of the things that game and those things sort of always really did well for me, which I think why they did as well as they did more than anything else was like less on the gameplay, more on the atmosphere they built. And so like, I don't think I want to base on this really well sound designed thing. Yeah, I think that's. I get what you mean, because I also had that same thing where you're like, I don't want it to seem like I'm copying it, but in the same vein, where did Silent Hill get those ideas from?
Yes, that's true. I mean, like I've got a few ideas for what we can do with the music, but it's going to be lots. It's going to be sort of very noisy lo-fi synthesizers, I think. Kind of create that sort
like
of dark
chill
ambient.
lo-fi beats to relax and remember your past life to.
To try, yeah. Well, that's the soundtrack release. That's what that's going to be called. Excited to Duck. Give me a Duck username. Says excited to see this submitted to the jam. Yeah, I'm excited to like. I think the Anamnesis jam is a really cool idea. I think just having a jam to kind of say, look, here's a game. Anything that's been inspired by this can go in this jam. Very much just like a celebration of it, and it means it's a very. I was saying this on the last stream. It has all the. It kind of gives you all the best things about a passion project like this, in that there's a deadline, but it's a very soft deadline. You don't necessarily have to stick to it, but it's there. There's no there's no like executive pressure or anything like that. You have complete creative control, but there is also a deadline. That's kind of the best of both worlds. I think I hyped up Anamnesis here the last time. Yes, I've played Anamnesis. It's incredible. Oh, it's very, very, very good. If you go to the Anamnesis jam page on itch, one of the things that has been submitted is Anamnesis, which is a text game that is also a hack of Anamnesis, and it's very good. It's very, very, very good. Also, it is a text-based game that uses sound, which is very, very interesting to me, because in my brief time making text games, one of the main reasons I kind of stopped was that I couldn't quite get sound to work with them properly. But the idea of having, if I can get sound to work with text games, then that's a big thing I want to explore. Have you played it? Yes, I played it. Yeah, I was really interested in it. I thought it sounded really cool. And also, like, the artwork for it is fantastic as well. It's really good. It's very, very, very good. You should go play Anamnesis. I'll stick a link in the chat at the end. Yeah, go for it. It's very, very good. Yeah, sorry, I didn't wait. Sorry, I didn't wait for you to help with the audio. No need to apologize at all. Like, I was very busy and I didn't get around to it when I should have. That's entirely on me. And I get it. Like, if you've got audio ready to go, and you kind of just want to finish the thing, that's totally valid, and I completely understand. So, no need to apologize. It's your project at the end of the day, and it came out sounding really good. And yeah, I think it's very good. I think it's fun to play. But yes. Anyway, back to the stream. So yes, Anamnesis, go check it out. Yeah, excellent. Okay, back to the read through.
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay, Mark? We've got 2 more episodes to go. Do you need to take a break, or do you want to?
Yeah, no. Good. I'm good. Feeling strong.
Sweet.
Feeling more curious about Anamnesis now.
Well, I'll tell you what. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna move back to the chatting screen, so we can still hear you, Mark, but we can't see you. So you are still here. Let me just Anamnesis jam.
Oh no! I'm still here.
Yeah, no, you're still here. You're still here. I'm just getting a link basically. Right. So there's a link in the chat now for Anamnesis. Please do go check it out. You can play it in browser, which is very, very, very cool. And yeah, 56 different prompts, 22 different endings, 6 different animals you can turn into. One annoying mad scientist pulling your strings. I'm just reading the blurb just now. 0 hidden coupons for other games. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited to I might actually play it on stream at some point because I thought it was fun. Anyway, also submitted is a game called Yourself, which is another hack of Anamnesis, and it's another one that I'm kind of tempted to turn into to do this again. That last part might even be a lie. Ooh, there might be hidden things in the game. Yourself is very cool. I really like it. I think Yourself is more about identity, which I think is interesting. And it's so the framing device of Yourself is that you realize you're a changeling, and then you have to kind of the prompts are about deciding what your identity is afterwards. So I'm interested in maybe doing that as an audio piece as well. I would love to watch the stream of either of those playthroughs. I mean, we can work on it. I mean, we you know, I really like writing on stream. I really. Give me a duck username. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying your time here. I really enjoy doing writing streams. It's something I definitely want to do more of. And whether or not we kind of do this whole process again, I don't know. Obviously, Mark, if we do make more, you're very welcome to come back. And
I would love to.
Lend us
I heard
your,
mad scientist in that blurb.
We can play it together. That's the thing. We can do that.
Ooh.
But yeah, like I really enjoy doing these writing streams, and it's weird because, you know, obviously I'm not gonna write the tower on stream because that's, you know, and because that's too big a project, I think.
Oh, I mean, that would be really evil though if you wrote it on stream but just didn't speak out loud.
So you just hear the typing, but you don't hear any thoughts.
It's just footage of you just writing in a note.
Oh right, so it's it's not like the script like they're seeing now.
Yeah.
It's just my face as I'm writing.
No, it's just you on camera while you're typing. That no one can see what you're typing, and you're just like right in the tower. You got no idea. I think that.
I love that very much. I'm not going to do that because that's evil. Audio is important. I was voice acting all the Dr. M lines while I was writing them. Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. We're all audio people. We've all made a lot of audio stuff. Too much, arguably, one might say.
No, not enough. More.
Okay, let's move on to episode 4. Let's get this series finished.
Episode 4.
So
back where we are. Wands.
Yeah, this is the thing. I haven't written any wands in yet. Like when in the sort of playthrough, I talked about a bedside table that had like 3 wooden legs, which I think which kind of did it. But I feel like that's an odd detail to put in. Because in this one I don't mention the bedside table or the cassette player. I don't describe that. I just show it in sound. So if there's anywhere that sticks out where you think, oh, we could stick a wand in here, please do let me know. Yeah, okay. Shall we run through episode 4?
Wand's a harder one to fit in.
Well, I mean, I think you could like I said, I think if you could just have like long wooden legs or something like that, I think you could make it work. I used to. Mark, are we out of sync, Mark? I feel like we're.
Maybe. There may be a touch of a delay. Oh no.
Oh no, I think we're fine. That was pretty immediate, so I think we're back in sync.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Cool. That
I
might have
think
just been a blip in my end. Apologies if so.
no, that's okay. It was more just making sure we were kind of still lined up with each other. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna start the count. I'm gonna start the timer, and then we can
Yeah, yeah.
jump into
Let's do
it.
it.
So this is episode 4 of Anamnesis. Wands. You have learned much about yourself. Take some time to reflect. Sound: a creaking staircase. Bedroom door opening.
Find myself wandering up the stairs to our bedroom.
Sound: sitting on a bed, pressing play on a cassette player. Tape sounds, music. Lying down on a bed. This is very much the Silent Hill moment where James puts a videotape into a TV and watches all this stuff.
Ah, I close my eyes and think about all that I have learned. None of it quite fits together, and I'm still not sure about any of it. I still can't get a solid hold on the shadows of memory that gather on the edge of my
Sound: various
subconscious.
whispers, various voices, whispers. Brackets distant.
I came here to find someone, but why did they come here? Were they also looking for someone? Is this why people tried to stop us? A repeating pattern of people going missing, looking for missing people?
Sound: handling photograph.
Find me. There must be someone else here. Surely that's what this means. Did whoever B is leave it here to be found? B. Something within me stirs as I think about B. A deep, longing feeling, coupled with anger and desperation and a strange sense of pride.
So, just want to point out that Give Me a Duck username has said 4 out of 5 audio logs obtained. It's very good. It's very good. And Mysterious has said, since every suit has an element, maybe the sound of the corresponding element in each chapter. I like that. I might actually gonna make a note of that. Sweet elements in
Ooh, yeah.
could do a lot of
That's a
interesting
better
things with
idea.
that. I'm letting the tape play a little bit. I'm still letting the timer go because I'm going to leave a lot of space with the music here.
Yeah,
sound.
I figured.
Music continues to play. The tape begins to unspool, and the sound coming from the cassette player begins to twist and warp. Sitting up, grabbing the cassette player, throwing it against the wall, panicked breathing.
What have I done? I'm trapped here in an empty world with nothing, not even my name or any of my memories. All I have are shadows. I don't even know if they're my shadows. I don't know anything anymore. I messed up. I got it wrong. I try to hold on to the idea that someone else is here, but I realize that it doesn't matter. I am here because I didn't think. I didn't listen. I was told this would happen, but I didn't care. I was so angry at being told no, I let it drive me, urge me on to find out how to get here, to prove everyone wrong, to find what I had lost, fix everything. Just once, to finally we could put it all behind us. It would all be okay. I sit on the bed, shaking. I am lost, and I don't know where to go or what to do.
Sound. Wind and rain on the window. Crying. I might cut the crying just because I think it's maybe a bit too melodramatic, but that's a discussion for when we go to record.
But be sad is the note.
Be sad.
Yeah. We were scholars. We spent our days in the temple library reading anything and everything, testing theories, running experiments, uncovering lost insight and wisdom. We wanted to understand the world, the universe. We were allowed our curiosity, even encouraged at times. We thought we had reached the limits of what it was, of what was knowable, and still we wanted. We found more books written in hushed, forbidding tones, in red and dark corners. We sought out long forgotten, long buried, long hidden writings, symbols. We started to disappear. We didn't see it at first. One person stops coming to the temple every day. It's not a cause for concern. But then it was 2 people. Then 3. The elder at the temple realized what was happening and decided it had to stop. There were only 2 of us left at that point. We had to keep going. We had to know. Our purpose was different now. We had to find our friends. We had to rescue them. We stole things. We lied. We hid things. Why did we ever think we would be spared what had happened to our friends? I sit on the bed. My eyes hurt. I don't remember who I am, who B is, who the others were. Maybe they don't remember. And that's all we are now. Shadows in an empty world, searching for our memories.
Wow, wonderful, thank you. That was really good. Ooh, I really like that. Ooh, I got the good feelings with that one. Oh, that was nice. That was really, really, really good. That came in at just about 6.5 minutes. So these are good length episodes. That was really good. I really liked the bangers. I think that that worked really, really well. I think that the pace, you've kind of nailed the pacing. Worst case scenario, hello. Right, thank you so much for joining us. Goblin Mixtape is here as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, people.
So Mark, Goblin Mixtape is the writer of Anamnesis. So they are the original writer, and they are also going to, their voice is also going to be appearing in this audio drama as well. Goblin Mixtape. This is Mark Gallie, fantastic voice actor, and is going to be the voice, our main voice for our audio drama. It's the big Anamnesis herself.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. I'm loving the world of all of this here. This is so cool and so interesting. This is fantastic. Oh.
Also, worst case scenario. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here. It's been the read through's been going really, really well. We've been it's been going very, very, very good. Oh yes, so we need to, all right, so first of all, the tower, you say, where could I listen to such a fine piece of entertainment? Well, let me tell you, if you type in command Tin Can Audio, you will get a link in the chat for our website, the Tin Can Audio website, where you can find all of our shows, and contact forms and press packs and all the things you could possibly need is there on our website. So please go check it out if you're interested in hearing more of Mark's amazing voice. Mark doing more amazing things. Mysterious has delivered one of my favorite lines in any audio drama I've listened to, and so I could be wrong about this, but I believe it's the line where you're trying to connect Kiri to the voicemail.
Oh, is it me talking to the soundboard?
Yes, yeah. Correct. Yes, we got it right.
Oh, Oh, amazing! I love. Oh, that's so good. It's very based, and I think I said this, told this to. Oh, that. Oh, right. Yep, yep. That bit. No, I was thinking another bit. That's yes. It's one of my favorites. Oh, oh, so well done. Oh, so many people. This
If
is
you want
great.
to check out more of Mark Gallie's work, because Mark is a writer, actor, performer, does lots of amazing things. If you type in command "we like Ike," you'll get a link to Mark's
We like
link tree.
Ike.
Yes, I am referencing Super Smash Brothers there, because Mark Gallie is in Super Smash Brothers. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, I used to play. I forgot about the Wii like Ike. I genuinely also, now that I'm remembering this, used to play Ike quite a lot when I played Smash Brothers in the Wii days. That's wonderful.
So I don't think that's quite nominative determinism, but it's they dropped Waluigi for him. Very controversial decision, but I think it was the right choice in the end. I love this idea of just like Nintendo executives being like, okay, we need to make this decision. Do we go for Mark Gallie or Waluigi? And they're sort of looking at the two and going, nah, Mark Gallie, I think. Mark Gallie is the stronger choice.
Good, good for. I mean, Waluigi is like he's like 9 feet tall or something like that. You have to get a vet. But I think I could take Waluigi.
I don't think it's like a fight to determine which one gets put in Smash Brothers. I think it's just.
I mean, how else would you decide who goes in Smash Brothers?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about game development. They'd have to raise all the ceilings for health and safety.
I tell you what I'll do is if they do pick me over Waluigi, I'll just have a little celebration where I'm like, Waluigi number one, just to like, there you go, Waluigi's in the game now.
I feel like that's just mocking more than anything else. It's just mocking what could have been.
Yeah.
Really just cementing that in there. Anyway.
Or winner, me. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, back to the work thing. Cool. Right, we have one more episode. I've said many times already.
One more. Ooh,
I'm a little bit nervous about this episode just because it is so short. But it also has credits in there that
He's a bit short. But
I mean, so this credit list is going to be quite long just because the additional voices list in the time since I put out a call for it has got quite big. So it's going to be quite a long list of people. In a good way, long list of people, brackets good. Yeah. I also need to think about artwork at some point as well, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, so let's get this episode. Let's get a run through of this episode done, and then we'll a thing brackets good. Yeah, so I don't know when I started doing that, but I absolutely just say things and then go, oh no, say it again, and then brackets good or brackets bad. I don't know why. I think it's something I've picked up from listening to podcasts, genuinely. But I've had a friend of mine has ADHD. And they've kind of said, no, it's a good thing. It means it makes it clear to me what you mean by that. So, so I've just kept doing it. It seems. Anyway, so this is going to be episode 5. Are you okay to just run into the next episode, Mark? Do you want to have a pause or anything?
No, I'm not. Like I was going to say, like, let's power through, but like, yeah, no, I'm good to keep going.
Amazing. Okay. So this is episode 5 of Anamnesis, called Anamnesis. Your past may shape your experiences, your thoughts, Sorry. I'm going to start this again, because worst case scenario just said, remember to hydrate before you dihydrate. It's just... That line never fails to me.
I've got big... Got big hydration happening.
And I also have a mug that's not quite a tankard, but it's. I am so sure. Sorry, I shall be quiet. Oh no! You missed people making Nickelback jokes earlier. What else do we have?
Big sip.
But please do not feel the need to be quiet on our behalf.
No, absolutely not.
Let's start.
Thank you for reminding me to hydrate.
Okay, start again. So this is episode 5 of Anamnesis, called Anamnesis. Your past may shape your experiences, your thoughts, your desires, but it does not define you. You are in control of your own path. The road ahead may be built from the stones that you've gathered, but these fragments of your past do not dictate where it leads. It is time to move forward. Who are you? What do you do next? Sound. Wind and rain on the window.
Sleep, and wake up to the same wind and rain as before. The same grey space, the same strange... facsimile?
Facsimile.
Facsimile. Oh, sorry, first time seeing that. The same grey space, the same strange facsimile of a forgotten life. Forgotten world.
Sound. Creaky stairs.
I am lost in an empty world that my friends may also be lost in somewhere. We came out here of our own ambition and hubris, and we paid for that with our memories. We were all taken from the world we knew and transplanted into another without any remembrance of what came before. But I remembered something. Not everything, but enough. And if I can remember, there is a chance that others remember too, and that they are also searching. There are many things I do not remember. Maybe I'll never remember, but that is not what matters. But that is not what matters now. What matters is that I am here, and that there may be others here, and that if there are others, I need to find. This world is strange. An empty reflection of a place filled with life, knowledge, with hope. If we were able to make it here, maybe together, we can find a way back.
Sound. Front door opening. Stepping outside.
I open the door to the wind and the rain. I feel the cold air on my face, and wet tears sting my cheeks. Pull my coat in towards me, and head out into the empty town.
Sound. Footsteps. Fade out. And that's our show. That's the story. That's
roll credits.
Roll credits, which we're currently clocking in at 3 minutes for that episode, so 2 minutes of credits.
I can slow that down. I can go way slower. I can get...
Yeah. Oh no, like a rock guitar solo. The theme tune for Sonic Underground plays. So that's a very specific reference that nobody's going to get. Insert pensive pause. Yeah, that was really good. I really like that. Yeah, I think that's just a monologue we can play around with. Sonic. I love how everyone's now talking about Sonic.
Oh God, what have you done?
So so the word is facsimile. So it is very much just you say it like it's spelled.
Facsimile.
It's a wonderful word. I do enjoy using it very much.
It's a great word. What is the sort of like context of it?
It's kind of like a copy.
Like what does it mean? Oh, that is beautiful.
So I think that's kind of the general. Is my dictionary here? No, I'm just going to look it up. I'm just going to Google it. Facsimile, an exact copy or reproduction as of a document. An exact copy or counterpart, an imitation of an original in all its proportions, qualities, and peculiarities. So, it's a good word.
It is an excellent word.
It's a real good word.
Oh, that is...
Facsimile. Somebody in chat said the old Mysterious says the old facsimile machine, to which worst case scenario said, I hear it's an upgrade to the fac metaphor machine, which is very good. It's very good stuff. I love how we've managed to cultivate this very like pun based chat. Like I'm very, very happy about that. It's nice when
puns are great.
Puns are fantastic. We are a pro pun organization. And then we have our credits, which I'll record at some point after we have all the names.
Comma big.
But yes, I'm a very cunning linguist. Oh well. So these are all the lines that we're going to be getting from our Ko-fi members. There's a lot of them.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Number one, Anamnesis. That tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just so you've got Anamnesis. You've got the definition of Anamnesis. By the way, if you've contacted me about this, I'll be sending you this list soon. I'm just needing to cut it down and separate it and format it in a way that doesn't look like I've just pasted it into a document. So that's the definition of Anamnesis. That's obviously the word. So that is in the game, that's our shadow card. So this is like who the character was before the story starts. So basically I'm going to get everyone to record
the first thing in the first document you sent me. It was like, sent me that at the top word, the hanged man. I was like, that's a tone setter right there if ever I've read a document.
And then these are just all the prompts that we got. So this is like a prompt, and then this was the major arcana card we got to kind of answer the question that the prompts gave. So how it works is you pull a card, you get a prompt, but then you pull a different tarot card to help you answer the question. Which is a really cool way of doing it. So you're not answering completely from nothing. You are given a bit of a starting thing, which is interesting. So that's basically all of these. And then the one at the end you put your shadow card back, so which is the hanged man, and then you get to decide which one you want to be going forward. So it's like you're sort of choosing your new identity. It's a fantastic mechanic. I really like it. It's very good. It does feel very like a thematic revolution. It's very, very
I would
good.
love to do this with my tarot deck, because I have a very sassy tarot.
A very sassy tarot deck. Oh, wow.
Yes, I have a very sassy tarot card deck.
I will send you a link to the game. It's absolutely worth getting.
Oh, please do.
I love games like this. I love this kind of thing. All right. So yeah, sorry, I didn't properly ask.
We didn't really go over that.
Was there anything in there that felt weird, or anything you want to ask about, like for the last episode and specifically?
Oh yeah, I suppose just for the last episode, I just wanted to double check, like getting the sort of the tone right. That it's like it is that thing. If you're ending a bit more hopeful and upbeat. I wasn't sure. Like I figured we'd go through in more specific what's looking for, but just to check I wasn't off the mark too much.
There is a specific monologue in the tower I can point you to be like this tone. But I'm not going to say which one on stream because that's a big spoiler.
No, that's fine.
So I'm assuming you've figured out which one I'm talking about.
That'll give me exactly what I need. Yep. I have a feeling, yes.
Goblin Mixtape is extremely curious about the Sassy Tarot deck. I have a friend whose tarot deck likes me but hates another one of our friends. I love this idea that tarot decks have personalities. I've got lots of stuff. I heard there is a game with a very cool transformation tarot deck. Ooh, okay. You see, this is the thing. Give me a duck username. You've got yourself somebody that's following and interested in your games. Like, you've.
I feel like they do though. Like, and I say mine's sassy, and it's probably my own fault.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that comes from you have the tarot deck that is like tied to you, and it sort of reflects. It reflects the person that it's bonded with. I think that's kind of the theory behind it. I actually once saw a risque
'Cause I
or
didn't realize
spicy.
you. Oh,
No, I was just gonna say I actually once saw a risque or spicy tarot deck in packaging titled "Tarot the Belt," and that was a pun I very much appreciated. I think a friend of mine has a
oh, that is an excellent pun.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like I think it's called like the Millennial Tarot deck, but it's like the cards have like women on them going "I'm over this" kind of thing. It's sort of like the meanings are slightly more literalized in a millennial context. And then Ella, who's the executive producer on the Tower, has a cat tarot deck, which is also very cool.
Oh,
It's very cool. I think that the artist who makes that is actually based in Aberdeen, which is really cool. Which is where I grew up in Scotland. And I didn't know they had artists there, but it's good that they do.
I was born.
Oh, you were born in Aberdeen?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Whereabouts? I say whereabouts. There's one hospital.
I'd probably that one. I didn't know. I never lived. I didn't live in Aberdeen because I lived just west along the west coast. But I described that was probably the hospital that was closest for births at the time. But yeah, I was born in Aberdeen.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. The Five of Cups. I can't even. Yeah, I think it's stuff like that. It is very much that kind of tarot deck. Okay, so so Mark, how are you feeling about the script, about the character, about Anamnesis, the audio drama? Title pending.
I think it's great. I think it's title pending, of course. I really enjoy it. I think for me, I need to I just like be more. Obviously, there'll be bits and pieces with like a read through that are not the same as the recording. But I really like it. Again, like I've always really enjoyed your writing. Again, no other like bits that were like stumble overs. I've learned so many new words. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy. How do you feel? Did I pass?
Yes, of course you passed. You were fantastic as always. You're very, very good. Like it's wonderful. It's always wonderful doing these kind of read throughs and then seeing characters transform and change as they're being read aloud. That's always wonderful to see and wonderful to hear. So yeah, like I think the story feels a lot clearer to me now. It feels less like a puzzle I need to solve. It feels much more like something that kind of is alive in its own right, which is great. Something that's probably worth mentioning. I'm still waiting on feedback from a couple of people, so the script might change between now and recording. And we can have a quick chat after the stream about
for sure
when we're going to record this. Really? But well, because that's the next bit. That's the next bit is recording it, I think. Yeah, I think there might be one more writing stream next week, depending on when I get the feedback. You're very welcome to hop on for that, Mark. And then we need to organize recordings, which is when the scary stuff starts. I think that's the
scare.
Yeah,
Are we recording it all live on stream as well?
I think that's the plan. I mean, if you'd rather not, we could do a workaround.
No. That was just me double checking. I thought the idea was to do it all on stream. So I was just like,
yeah, I think the
just wanted to double check because I know my internet has sometimes been a bit spotty.
Well, we'll be going through Riverside, so I feel like Riverside is because it turns out you can run Riverside through Twitch, which I didn't realize. So that's going to be a fun new thing to discover and learn about. So you get to this is the great. So if you're watching this and wondering how we do remote recordings, you're going to get to see the software we use. Basically, you're going to get to see the points to Riverside. Yeah, like it's good. Like it's what we use for the Tower Part 2. It's what we used for the R&D for the Tower Part 3. Yeah, I mean like yeah. So we'll be making that work at some point. But we just need to do a little bit of tightening up on the scripts, just one last pass at the script and see if anything needs changing. Once I get the feedback through, hopefully this weekend, and then we can start working that out. But yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I think we are. I think it sounds really good. I think it's reading very well. I think the story's very clear. I think you're taking things in an interesting direction. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go next with it, and I'm excited to hear your performance with it as well.
How do you feel having it sort of out in, like, out in the air?
No, it's good. Like it's I've kind of said it earlier on in the stream. Like it's very liberating. It's quite liberating doing everything on stream, because I feel like there's that sense of like, not like a bring your friends to work day, but you know what I mean? Where it's kind of like I enjoy this feeling of showing people how things are made, and kind of getting to just be excited about the process as well, because I feel like I haven't been excited about the process in a very long time.
Like, excited about the process of writing, or of the like like, am I saying like the process of writing, or like the comprising of everything together?
I like the sort of the whole process, because I mean, it's like, as much as I really enjoyed making the Tower Part 3 and it went really, really smoothly and it went really, really well, we were £15 over budget in the end, which I'm so proud of. But
Whoa,
like only 50. It was so clean.
Bravo.
It was so clean. But yeah. Oh, something just went baboop. Was that Discord? Okay, I don't know. But yeah, like I'm kind of but the thing was, it was a very long process, and it was also just doing something big is always a stressful thing, no matter how much you enjoy it, so it's nice to kind of do this and but yeah, like I'm excited to show people things, and it is making me enjoy the process of just making something, because I kind of said this in another stream as well. The kind of initial idea behind this was to kind of just make something for the sake of making it, and kind of prove that I can still make something on my own, without getting a full like executive team behind it, and just kind of doing the thing big, going back to how I started, being like, I'm going to do all of this myself, and kind of just prove that I still can. So it's wonderful to have that, and also to be able to do that, and also to be able to share that process as well. I'm really, really enjoying that. That was very rambly. I'm sorry, I sort of lost my thread halfway through there.
No, not at all. I found it very interesting, and that's because I've always been sort of like curious enough. So we've worked together on stuff. So working together, I get little bits of peek behind the curtain and stuff like that. But I think being able to see it sort of from like start to finish, being able to see all the steps, and being able to go, as someone looking outside going, oh, so that's how they do it. It might be different tweaks or different things, but I know like watching other people process often makes me go, oh, I am either doing, like, I'm doing that thing the same, so that's cool, that's sort of reassuring, but oh, I'm also doing some different things here, and that's also reassuring or interesting in its own way. So I'm glad to hear you're enjoying the process, and I get what you mean about doing something on your own, because like, as much as you're like, it takes a village and you can build something really big and really great, I think like being not accountable to yourself, but having it be very self-driven, and especially if you're looking back, go, can I still do it? I would have put loads of money on, not only can you still do it, but you'll be able to do it better and than you did before, because you've had all that knowledge and brought it back. So I think this is very cool. I think it's very informative as well as being interesting. It's informative. It reminds me of other ways of, like, I don't know if you watched like the Zero Punctuation guy on The Escapist or something like that, but basically he did a similar thing where every week he was like making a video game and showing people.
Yes, I love that. Oh no, Mark, he's still there. Mark, speak to me. Mark. You appear to be deafened.
Oh.
Oh no, I think it's. Are you back?
Am I back?
Yes,
Did it
I
work?
think you're back. I think we got you back.
I think I'm here. I'm not sure what happened. I think I might have nudged something and something disconnected. I apologize.
Yeah, like, so what do we got here? So worst case scenario says there's an artistry in the process or showing the process. I agree. I think it's nice to kind of celebrate that, and also enjoy doing that, and kind of, because as much as like it's showing the creative process, it's kind of also causing me to think about my creative process as well, which is interesting. Yeah, so I mean, it's something I talk about in my upcoming workshop, which I'll be doing in London this weekend, and then I'll also be doing on Twitch as well. I'll be doing a sort of extended director's cut version here on Twitch at some point in the future, depending on how well this workshop goes. If it goes badly, I might just be like, it's going to be a while I try and fix all the problems. But one of the things I talk about is the difference between like technicians and artists. I think so much in the audio industry in particular, with audio editors and sound designers, they consider themselves technicians rather than artists, when I think they're both. Because you know, like if I'm been hired to do an interview podcast, I'm not coming at this being like, how can I best artistically express myself by editing these two people talking about tracing paper or whatever. It's whereas like if I'm making a piece of audio drama, it's like, okay, how am I gonna, what's the best way to express myself here, rather than like I'm just gonna chop this up and put the sounds in. It's something that I kind of go into a bit of depth with, and it's nice to be able to explore that idea through making something. But yes, so Mark, is there anything you would like to plug before we sign off?
I get mainly, I suppose the current the main things. If you check out the link at the We Like Ike is the command.
Yeah, command. I've just put the link in the chat again. Command We Like Ike.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. We Like Ike. You'll see a bunch of the sort of stuff on there. The main thing I sort of always will plug is I'm part of run a group called I Am Loud Productions. We do like live spoken word poetry, and as well as like various digital stuff. We actually have a poetry video of Dev on our YouTube channel. So if you go into the YouTube,
a very old
I Am
Dev.
Loud, or I Am Loud Pro. It's very old. I should obviously preface that, but like check out I Am Loud. If it's all digital, check out the YouTube. There's some of my poetry videos in there from the link tree, as well as some other really great poets. And there's also like some film stuff, like poetry films and other stuff we've done over there. So yeah, check out my link tree. Check out I Am Loud. But like the top of my link tree is the tower, so it all cycles back around.
Incidentally, the poetry video that I'm in for Loud Poets, I wrote a poem about Star Trek, and I Am Loud decided, well, what if we actually filmed that and put you in a Star Trek uniform and make it look like you're on like the set of Star Trek, and it's very fun. But it was when I still had a beard. That's how long ago it was.
It was a few. I still think it's a fantastic poem.
I'm very proud of it.
Wasn't into Star Trek when you did that poem, and now someone that has learned more about Star Trek, that poem like begins to give me new, like deeper appreciation through rewatches, which is very cool.
Cheers. I'm still like, it's the only piece of poetry that I've ever had that's been published. It got published in a magazine, which I was just like, okay, so this is the thing for me now. Excuse me.
I mean, you still think I wouldn't worry. Like you being in the Star Trek suit is still there is. We did a shot-for-shot remake of like the Now for Something Completely Different trailer for one of our shows, and the costumes varied, and I would have prayed to have been in a Star Trek uniform at that particular point.
Anyway, And on that note, I think we are gonna call
yeah.
the stream for tonight. So thank you very much, Mark. Thank you so much for coming along and doing the read through. Mark will.
Thank you so much for having me.
Mark Gallie will return when we do the recordings for this show, because we're going to record the whole thing on stream as well. That'll be coming up soon. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. We certainly did. We'll be back Monday. We'll be back on Monday with a stream. I'm not 100% sure what that stream will be. I still need to figure out what that is. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we will catch you soon. So thanks very much. Take care, and good night.
Thanks.